more than a decade since the rape and murder of 17-year-old Sowjanya. Brought thousands of angry protesters out on the streets in the temple towns of Ujire and Dharmasthala in Karnataka's Dakshina Kannada district. They alleged that the real culprits were being protected by the police because they enjoyed the patronage of a Padma awardee, who is also a powerful religious leader considered a living deity by his followers. It was raining on 9th October 2012 when Sowjanya, a second PU student at the Sri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara College in Ujire, got off the bus at the Snanghatta stop and started walking towards her house at around 4:15 p.m. She waved at her uncle and aunt who were passing in a jeep in the opposite direction. But she never reached home. Her frantic family started searching for her around 7 p.m. The night passed without any news from Sowjanya. The next day, her body was found near the Nethravathi River, just about 300 meters from her house. The body was half naked, her left hand tied to a tree using the shawl from her uniform. To conceal evidence of rape, her perpetrator had soiled her genitals with mud. In a matter of minutes, around 3,000 to 4,000 people gathered at the spot, leaving not much for the Fingerprint Bureau to collect. Though this should have made Inspector Yogesh Kumar, who was at the spot, more alert, he did not videograph the spot or the body. He seized only her bag and not her books. On 11th October, even as the region was simmering with protests, Santosh Rao was sitting at the stairs leading to the famed Bahubali statue in Dharmasthala. That's when he was caught by a few residents, beaten up, and turned over to the police. There were 17 injuries found on his body, including nail marks. The police said these nail mark wounds were inflicted by Sowjanya. On 13th October, the police claimed that Santosh had confessed to the crime and had taken them to Mansanka where the crime was allegedly committed. His shirt and trousers were recovered from a hilltop nearby, 100 meters from where Sowjanya's body was found. But here too, the police did nothing more. No experts were brought in to comb the area where the crime was supposed to have been committed. No samples of hair, skin or blood were even taken. As the Belthangri police went about building their case, the people in the town and Sowjanya's family weren't convinced. Their suspicions were aroused because of the three men who captured Santosh Rao, Malik Jain, Udaya Jain, and Dheeraj Khela Jain. The family and several people in the town were not convinced that the three men were good Samaritans who caught a suspicious-looking man. This is because one of Sowjanya's relatives claimed that she had overheard the three men speaking on the day of Sowjanya's disappearance. They were apparently talking among themselves in a conspiratorial tone, and one of them said, nothing more could be done due to the rain. Malik Jain was an accountant with the Dharmasthala Trust, while Dheeraj was the son of a senior manager of the Annapurna Trust. It is well known in Dharmasthala that these men were friends of Nishchal Jain, the nephew of Rajya Sabha MPD Virendra Hegde, the hereditary administrator of the famous Dharmasthala temple. Hegde, who became the 21st Dharmadhikari of the Dharmasthala temple in 1968 at the age of 20, came under immense pressure in the days following the murder as thousands of protesters called for the arrest of his nephew and the three others. As the Dharmadhikari, Hegde is sought after by all political parties, and his word holds a lot of sway in Dharmasthala. But as public anger increased, the Dharmadhikari was forced to hold a press meet to shield his nephew and claimed that he was in New York the day Sowjanya was killed. The CID, which had taken over the case in November 2012, interrogated the three men, but found no evidence against them. In November 2013, the CBI took over the case, but they too focused only on tightening the case against the suspect produced by the local police. Sowjanya's father Channappa Govda, however, did not let it go. He filed a petition in court asking that the three men be made additional accused and summoned in the case. In November 2016, the Sessions judge in Bangalore allowed it. Just as the family thought that the three suspects would finally be made part of the case, the three approached the Karnataka High Court in January 2021 and obtained a stay. The investigation by the Belthangadi police, the CID, and finally the CBI against Santosh Rao was primarily based on three things: his confession, recovery of his clothes, and the injury marks on his body. But the court found that none of these were foolproof or enough to implicate Santosh Rao. Setting up an accused. Santosh Rao was handed over to the police by Malik Jain after he was reportedly found sitting suspiciously in a dark place near Bahubali Betta in the city, close to Mansanka where the victim's body was found. Police Constable Kushlappa Govda, who detained Santosh, said that he had injuries on his body and that Santosh later took them to Mansanka, the place where the victim was allegedly murdered, and also to the place where he had hidden his clothes. The police, however, did not comb either spot for more evidence. The post-mortem of the victim was done under poor lighting and the doctor performing it was not requisitioned by the police to collect the viscera, internal organs, even though ligature marks were found on the neck. The forensic doctor deposing before the court methodically dismantled the case against Santosh, stating that the victim's fingernails did not contain his blood or skin particles, and neither was the soil found on Sowjanya's clothes present on his. The doctor further told the court that vaginal swabs, a critical piece of evidence, were improperly collected and preserved. Neither semen stains nor the victim's hair were found on the accused's clothes. The victim's DNA was not found on his clothes. All the police found on his clothes was his own DNA and the DNA of another man's. Santosh was also found to be suffering from phimosis, a condition of the penis where the foreskin cannot be pulled back. The doctors opined that even though Santosh was capable of sexual intercourse, it would cause him severe pain. Prosecution mishandling a trial or police doing a shoddy investigation, both leading to acquittals, is not a rarity in India. But 16th June verdict in Sowjanya's rape and murder case goes further by detailing each misstep in the investigation. Importantly, the court has ordered a probe against those who investigated the case after it found that the police manipulated the investigation, created fake evidence, and botched medical reports. This is a vindication for the girl's family and the activists who have questioned the police, CID, and CBI investigation. The verdict, which has once again kindled public anger, is also a damning indictment of the investigating agencies and reveals shocking details about how the probe was compromised at every step. The reason the judge asked for a probe against the officers is not merely because they were inefficient, but they seemed to have willfully ignored crucial evidence. The Prakriti Chikitsalaya, a nature cure hospital in Dharmasthala, is right down the road from the bus stop where Sowjanya got down and hardly 300 meters from where her body was found. Sub-Inspector Yogesh Kumar told the court that they didn't bother to collect the CCTV footage from the gate of Prakriti Chikitsalaya, which happens to be run by the Dharmasthala temple management. The camera, which is installed adjacent to the main road, could have provided crucial evidence in the case according to the victim's family. The police officer added that details from mobile towers were collected but not handed over to his successor. The same officer was also at the scene of the crime when the body was discovered. He admitted that the victim's underwear was not on her body when she was found and that his team failed to collect critical evidence, including fingerprints and a chit found at the crime scene which could have been analyzed for handwriting. The crime scene was not videographed by a professional. Later in court, another police officer, Bhaskar Rai, admitted that he did not collect the CCTV footage from Prakriti Chikitsalaya either. No evidence to corroborate confession. Other than his confession to the police, The premise for Santosh's arrest was injuries found on his body which the prosecution had maintained were due to his struggle with the victim. However, investigating officer Bhaskar Rai admitted before the court that there was no expert report about the injuries found on Santosh's body. The forensic doctors examining Santosh said that those injuries were caused when he was apprehended and beaten up by the public. Adding to the suspicions over the police's version of events was the death of Ravi Pujari, a watchman with the Dharmasthala Trust and a witness in the case. While the police said that he died by suicide, a witness in the case said that he was murdered. Lack of CBI inquiry against the Jains. The case documents also reveal that other than brain mapping and polygraph tests done in March 2015, the police did not investigate Malik, Dheeraj, and Udaya further. The charge sheet in the case named Santosh as the lone accused. This is despite witness statements and evidence suggesting the involvement of more people in the crime. The police failed to record the statements of two key witnesses, Ashrat Khalid and Varsha, who were known to Sowjanya and could potentially screen the culprits. The duo, along with several others in the case, had raised suspicions that the crime involved more than one accused. After Congress leader Siddaramaiah was sworn in as the 22nd Chief Minister of Karnataka on 13 May 2013, one of the questions he was often asked was about the probe into Sowjanya's death. With news coming out on 1 November that the CID, which was given the case by the previous BJP government, had given a clean chit to Malik, Dheeraj, and Udaya, pressure grew on the Siddaramaiah government to act. On 6 November, Siddaramaiah decided to transfer the case to the CBI. The family now wants the Chief Minister to intervene again. The Karnataka High Court, while granting a stay in favor of the three men, observed that the trial was at an advanced stage and it would be improper to arraign more accused then. The court also agreed that it would be an injustice to the three men if they were included now. Kusumavati, Sowjanya's mother, is clear about her demands. The family wants the case handed over to a special investigation team and action taken against Dr. Mahabala Shetty, professor and head of forensic medicine, who examined Santosh Rao on 12 October 2012, Dr. Rashmi N., gynecologist at Belthangadi Medical Hospital, who conducted the post-mortem examination on Sowjanya. Dr. Adam, who conducted the post-mortem on Sowjanya and also examined Santosh and issued medical examination reports, and investigating officer Yogesh Kumar. We want justice for our daughter. I am living only to see the perpetrators get punished. The police and CBI probe didn't look into the real perpetrators despite our repeated requests, Kusumavati told TNM. The rape and murder of 17-year-old Sowjanya in Karnataka's Ujire in 2012 sparked protests. The police arrested and imprisoned Santosh Rao as a suspect but recently found him innocent. Allegations arose that powerful individuals connected to a religious leader were protected, and crucial evidence was mishandled. The investigation faced serious flaws, leading to public anger and demands for justice. The victim's family seeks a special investigation team and action against the negligent officers. The case has put pressure on political figures to act, but justice is yet to be fully served.